Hey guys, I'm Johnny FD, and I've been traveling full-time as a digital nomad for the last 10 years. And there's an ATM card that all of you should be getting because it's free and can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Let's get right into it. All right, so first things first, if you're still using a Chase ATM card or Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whoever your bank is, stop using them. Maybe keep it as a backup, but stop paying these foreign transaction fees as well as the ATM withdrawal fees. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you're not using your ATM from that same bank, whether it's Bank of America, using a B of A ATM or Wells Fargo using a Wells Fargo ATM, you're paying fees, and it can be anywhere between $2 to $7. And if you're in some shady place, it might be more than that. So here's the thing: is these things add up, and a lot of people will bring cash to exchange. There used to be something called traveler's checks that people would use. It's so much easier just to show up to a new country, get your ATM card, pop it into the airport, get local currency at a good exchange rate, not have to carry a bunch of cash, and be able to basically get the best deal. Now, there's one card company that lets you do this with no fees on their side, and they will refund all the fees from the other side. And if you have this card already, stick around because I have 4 tricks that most of you probably don't know. I will guarantee at least one of them you have not done that's going to save you a lot of money. So first off, the card is Charles Schwab. There are a couple companies like Fidelity as well as even Chase has a program where they will refund the ATM fees. Remember, there's 2 sides to it. There's the company charging the fee, so whether it's Chase or Charles Schwab or B of A charging a fee, but also even if they don't charge it, and some of them might say, we don't charge ATM fees with other banks, that's great. But the other side of it is when you pull money out of another bank, they will charge you. They're the ones that charge you between, usually $5 to $7 per time you take it out. So if you're taking it out a few times a month or once a week, that really adds up. That's $20 to $50 a month on average, depending on how many times you pull it out, how often you travel. So if you're in the US and you're just using your bank, I guess it's fine, right? You don't really need to change. But if you're traveling like I am, especially to different countries, you really want to have those fees refunded to you because you don't have the option of finding a local Chase bank or a local B of A bank. Now, there's a couple companies that will do it. So with Chase, if you have over, I think, $100,000 in their account, you qualify to be one of their diamond platinum accounts, business preferred, and then they will refund ATM fees. But it's so stupid. Don't have $100,000 cash in a Chase account because the interest that you're going to get on there is so low. Or if you're investing with them, you're probably paying a super high management fee. If you want to know more about that, you can listen to the Invest Like a Boss podcast. Don't invest money with Chase. Get rid of them. Fidelity is a company that actually does refund ATM fees. So they're good backups. If you have Fidelity already, go ahead and use them. However, they have limits. I think they only let you withdraw, they only refund it up to 3 times a month or something like that. Charles Schwab is the only one where there's unlimited refunds. Don't take advantage of that too much. Use it, but don't abuse it. I'll talk about that a little bit later on people getting their accounts closed for taking out it too often. But tip number 1, Charles Schwab is the best. Unfortunately, I think it's only for Americans. Sorry, but if you're not American, there's a company called Revolut, and they will also refund ATM fees, but only a few times a month as well. But Revolut for all you international fans. And for Americans, Charles Schwab, there's no reason not to get it. They are mostly an online bank, even though they have some kind of branches, but really can do everything online. It's a brokerage account, which means you have to put at least $1, into an account where you can buy and sell stocks. You don't have to, you can just have it as a checking account, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But kind of bonus tip number 1, you can get a second account also for free. And the reason why you'd want a second card is sometimes you lose a card. You know, you're traveling, I'm in Mexico right now. If I'm in Cambodia or if I'm in Ukraine and I lose a card, it takes a few days. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get another card. So you can open a second account with them for free, get a second card, keep this safe somewhere. So if you lose this one, you have another one. I guess another tip is in the US, the money comes first. The card comes out first. So you put your card away and then the money comes and then you leave. In a lot of other countries, the card will stay in. Even though the money will come out, you'll walk away, your card will be there, and it gets eaten. Sorry, guys. In a lot of countries like in Bali and in Indonesia, like 1 out of 4 people I know get their cards cloned and money taken out of their accounts. So be really, really careful in those type of countries, especially in Bali where it happens all the time. It happens once in a while in other countries, but Bali, it's like 1 in 4 people that I know have gotten their cards cloned. So this is tip number 2, is make sure that you either lock your card in the app, and at least what you want to do is make sure there's no thing you can jiggle or no camera there. So cover your pin with your hand when you're pressing it. Make sure there's no thing. But with Schwab, with the Schwab card, there's an app. Download the app, and inside there, I'll show you exactly where it is now. You can go and you can actually go to your specific card and you can temporarily lock that card so nothing can be used on it. And because it only takes a second, what I do is I will leave it locked, both my cards locked all the time, and just right before I want to use it, I would just unlock it and it's instant. So I'll unlock it just for that minute. I'll take out $300 or whatever it is, and then guess what? I'll lock it again. That way, even if I'm in some shady place like Bali, someone closes my card, tries to use it, it's not gonna work for them. And I'll get an alert, which is awesome. So tip number 2 is use the app, lock your card as soon as you're done using it, and just unlock it when you wanna use it again. Now tip number 3 is always refuse the local currency conversion. This confused me, and I travel a lot. This confuses pretty much everyone because the ATM, the local ATM, will want you to use their currency transaction because they make money from it. They make a little slide from it. Depending on the country you're in, you may or may not have seen this before, but I've seen this all over Asia, I've seen this all over Europe. Basically what they'll say is, hey, today's currency conversion is $1 US to whatever it is, 30 Thai baht or 28 Ukrainian hryvnia, whatever it is. And so would you like to lock in this great conversion? And we're like, yeah, sure, that looks like a fair rate. Let's lock that in, because if I don't lock it in, I'm scared maybe I'll get charged more later. So you lock it in. But here's what happens. First off, that rate, even though it's okay, it's probably not the best rate. And then second, what happens is Schwab, or your bank, gets a total amount with no extra fees because it's all built into one. So all they'll see is that you withdrew $326 US. And Schwab will be like, all right, well, I guess there's no fees. So they can't refund you anything. However, if you refuse that currency conversion, what happens is it gets itemized. You'll have the amount that you pulled out, and then you have the fees associated. And that way, Schwab can go in and refund you those fees. And that's how I ended up saving and getting refunded literally $50 to $100, every month or every few months, which has added up to hundreds of dollars a year, and maybe even over $1,000 since I've started traveling with these cards, all for a free card. So tip number 4 is do not get your account closed. These cards are so good and there's not really any alternatives. So do what you can to stay in Schwab's good graces. So for me, what I do is I try not to abuse it. When I go to the ATM, I'll always withdraw the maximum amount, whether it's $300 or even $500, and just have that in cash at maybe in the safe or somewhere, and basically just use that for the next 2 weeks or the next month. Some people, many people, will go and take out $20 or $40 or $80 at a time, and they're going to the ATM every day. And they're like, well, there's no fees, so why should I care? you should care because somebody's paying those fees and maybe it's not you right now, but if the bank sees that you're going every day and taking out $40 or $80, they're gonna get really annoyed at you, especially if you are not a good customer. And what does a good customer mean? It means how much money do you have in the bank? If you have $1,000 or less in there, but you're costing them $100 of fees every month, guess what? They're gonna shut you down. They're gonna say, you're taking advantage of the system, you don't have any, you only have $1 in the brokerage account, you're abusing the system, get out of here. And guess what? Now you're gonna be stuck paying fees yourself. So what you wanna do is you wanna minimize the amount of times you use it. You wanna use it only, 2, 3, 4 times a month maximum. Take out as much as you can each time. That way you're saving them on fees. That way, everybody's happy. Second, you have to realize that Schwab actually has an official policy that you're not allowed to use it as a full-time, expatriate or traveler living somewhere else. It's really designed for Americans who are living in the US and they go travel once in a while, they're refunding these fees kind of as good graces. So their official rule is if you're traveling for more than 6 months, then they can close you down. I've been traveling for more than 6 months a year for the last 10 years. They've never shut me down, but because I'm a good customer. Not only do I actually personally have money invested in the brokerage account, like when I bought a bunch of Facebook stock, I used Schwab. I was like, why not? They're a good company. I'm just gonna use them. Then I had $30,000 in Facebook stocks sitting there. They're not gonna close me down because of that. Because they're like, all right, well, this is, he's a good customer. He's using our services. I don't care that he's, going to the ATM 5-6 times a month. He's a good customer. Let's keep him. But if you have $1 in your brokerage account, you never use them, and you're racking up fees every month, they're gonna shut you down. And I've met a lot of people who actually have had their accounts closed. They complain about it. They're like, oh, these guys are, assholes. They targeted me. Hey, at the end of the day, value gives value. So I hope you got a lot of value from this video. If you haven't already and you're a traveler, make sure you get a Schwab card. If you know someone who has this card but hasn't heard these full rules yet, make sure you send them this video because you don't want them getting their account shut down. You don't want them losing out on the fees. I didn't realize I wasn't getting my ATM fees refunded until someone else had mentioned it. And I went through my statements and I realized, wow, the entire time I was in Eastern Europe, I didn't get any refunds. And I had to call Schwab and I said, what's going on? And they explained, there's no line item for the fee. So hopefully you can go through and make sure you've gotten your refunds. If not, you can give them a call, but there's honestly not that much they can do because they have no idea how much there was. So make sure you're refusing the currency conversion. Make sure you get a backup second card if you haven't already. And that way, if you lose one, you're still okay. And make sure you subscribe to this channel for more travel tips. I do a monthly update with all my expenses, all the income I make. And maybe I should start including things like this, little travel hacks, tips. If you like this video, please comment, let me know. If you have any other questions, let me know as well. Happy to make more videos about all the travel hacks and tips that I've learned over this last 10 years of traveling full-time as a digital nomad. Hopefully I'll see you guys somewhere in the world. Take care. Until then, keep getting those rebates.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content like this. Hit the bell to get notified with these new videos, and also read the blog, johnnyfd.com, for in-depth blog posts and reviews of the best reward credit cards and best tips for travelers. See you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe.